Each time we have a quarrel, it almost breaks my heart, 'cause I'm so afraid that we will have to part. Each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager in love? One day I feel so happy, the next day I feel so sad. I guess I'll learn to take the good with the bad, 'cause each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager in love? I cried a tear for nobody but you. I'll be a lonely one if you should say we're through. Well, if you want to make me cry, that won't be so hard to do. If you should say goodbye, I'll still go on loving you. Each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager in love? I cried a tear for nobody but you. I'll be a lonely one if you should say we're through. Well, if you want to make me cry, that won't be so hard to do. And if you should say goodbye, I'll still go on loving you. Each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager in love? Why must I be a teenager in love? Why must I be a teenager in love? Why must I be a teenager?
Oh, when the sun beats down and burns the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. From the park you hear the happy sounds of a carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs and French fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby is where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. Blanket with my baby is where I'll be. under the boardwalk. Out of the sun, under the boardwalk. We'll be having some fun under the boardwalk. People walking above under the boardwalk. We'll be falling in love under the boardwalk. Boardwalk. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. I guess you said what can make me feel this way, my girl, my girl, my girl. Talking about my girl, my girl. I've got so much honey, the bees into me. I've got a sweeter song than the birds in the trees. Well, I guess you say what can make me feel this way, my girl, my girl, my girl. Talking about my girl, my girl. I don't need no money, watching my face. I got all the riches, baby, one man can claim. Well, I guess you say what can make me feel this way, my girl. Talking about my girl. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day with my girl. I've even got the month of May with my girl.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. stand by me, stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Whoa. This magic moment, so different and so new, was like any other until I kissed you, and then it happened. It took me by surprise. I knew that you felt it too, by the look in your eyes, sweeter than wine, softer than the summer night. Everything I want, I have. Whenever I hold you tight, this magic moment, while your lips are close to mine, will last forever, forever till the end of time. Oh, 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 oh. Sweeter than wine, softer than the summer night. Everything I want, I have. Whenever I hold you tight, this magic moment, while your lips are close to mine, will last forever, forever till the end of time. Oh, oh, yeah,
I am a lineman for the county, and I drive the main road, searching in the sun for another overload. I hear you singing in the wire, I can hear you through the whine, and the Wichita lineman is still on the line. I know I need a small vacation, but it don't look like rain. And if it snows, that stretch down south won't ever stand the strain. And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita lineman is still on the line. And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita lineman is still on the line.
Darling, you send me. I know you send me. Darling, you send me. Honest you do, honest you do, honest you do. Whoa, you thrill me. I know you thrill me. Darling, you thrill me. Honest you do. At first I thought it was infatuation, but ooh, it's lasted so long. Now I find myself wanting to marry you and take you home. Whoa, you send me. I know you send me. I know you send me. Honest you do. Whoa, whenever I'm with you, I know when I'm near you. Honest you do, honest you do. Whoa, and oh, I know when you hold me. Whoa, whenever you kiss me. Honest you do. At first I thought it was infatuation, but ooh, it's lasted so long. Now I find myself wanting to marry you and take you home. I know you send me. I know you send me. Send me. Honest you do.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes, watching the ships roll in. Then I'll watch them roll away again. Yeah, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay. I've had nothing to live for, and look like nothing's gonna come my way. So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Look like nothing's gonna change. Everything still remains the same. I can't do what 10 people tell me to do, so I guess I'll remain the same. Yes, sitting here resting my bones, and this loneliness won't leave me alone. Listen, 2,000 miles I roam just to make this dock my home. Now I'm just gonna sit at the dock of a bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm sitting on the dock of a bay, wasting time.
Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I want you. In my arms when I want you. And all your charms whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. Dream, dream, dream when I feel blue in the night and I need you to hold me tight whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream. Dream, 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 dream. Dream, 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 dream.
You're mine, and we belong together. Yes, we belong together for eternity. You're mine, your lips belong to me. Yes, they belong to only me for eternity. You're mine, my baby, and you'll Yes, we belong together for eternity. Oh, my love, my darling.
Active duty and retired, stand and render the proper salute. You may be seated. On behalf of the President of the United States Army, and the grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service.
I'm so sorry. Hard part about having so many friends and family so remote, it's hard to get everyone together. And I was asked to pull together some words. I got a lot of words and a lot of Bowisms captured. So Sophie, my lovely assistant, and lovely niece. I mean, this certainly doesn't encompass everything that Bo knew and shared, but so for those that don't know, first off, can you all hear me okay? All right, perfect, thank you. I'm Bo's little brother, Steve. We all can laugh about the little part later. So let me just open up with a few words about Bo. Bo was a devoted family man, a decorated combat veteran, master craftsman, a great friend, a great brother, and a proud Ukrainian American whose life defined by service, integrity, and an unshakable work ethic. From surviving Vietnam to building his American dream, Bo lived with courage, humor, and purpose. Always early and never idle, he leaves behind a legacy of love, resilience, and a quiet heroism that will endure in all that knew him. Over the past few days, I had the opportunity to connect with a lot of friends and family and had the privilege of learning so many aspects of Bo. Sharing Bo's experiences, and Da Vinci, Socrates, Plato, Edison, Confucius had nothing on Bo. They were amateurs. Bo shared wisdom through his simple and obvious truths, Bo truisms, as we call them. And he demonstrated that daily throughout his life, and anyone lucky to cross his path. So this is my attempt to encapsulate some of the things I heard over the last couple of days, but it's like a rushing river of feedback and thoughts. So I hope I do some of this justice. Sophie, if you want to rip the first one off. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this wasn't going to go as well. So the first one, in case anyone's kind of booing us. So let's do Bo's truisms. So let's rip off and let's do number 10. And this is actually a quote from Bo. Life is simple, but make it more better. A good example of this truism, we took a road trip up to New York, him and I, driving all night. And we stopped for subs, and I look over at Bo, and he's draped in a bath towel, like draped and eating. And I'm like, Bo, that's kind of weird. And he goes, no, but it's great. It's great. You got to understand, it's great. Well, we arrived with mayonnaise, mustard, and stuff all over my shirt, and Bo was clean as a whistle. And I think on the drive up, my family can attest, I do now have a driving eating towel. It was funny. I shared the story, I think, with Michael, and Michael said, yeah, he told me the same thing. I caught him eating over the sink one day. He's like, why dirty a plate? I could just eat over the sink. Make it more better. My brother Russell and his wife, Diane, had said that GPKW. I'm like, what's that? She goes, every time we leave, Bo told us, glasses, phone, keys, wallet. Every time you're out the door. And you never forget them. Again, make it more better. And it's funny, Christine, his sister-in-law, they would talk about life and politics, sitting at the breakfast bar and talking, but somehow Bo always guided it back to rigging and leverage. I mean, whatever the topic. Various sticks, hooks, and makeshift gadgets littered Bo's house. I mean, I remember a stick with a little hook on it, and he would sit there and just do the umbrella just so that the sun would shine on him. And he took a lot of glee in that. So the next truism, never lose your childlike wonder. Bo shared with me, and you got to remember, he's an adult with 2 kids, Michael, Chrissy, that he would wake up at 2 a.m. on Christmas morning and take a razor blade and open up all his gifts to see what he got. He just couldn't wait. Kathy just bought great gifts from the kids. And that morning, as he's opened up gifts, he would be like, chainsaw. And everybody, you know, he would be like Babe Ruth pointing out where his pitch was. Mary recalled one birthday, again, childlike wonder, that they had gotten him a Carvel cake, and he stood and he looked in awe, and everybody's like, wow, he's really touched. I was like, Bo, you know, happy birthday. This is great. He goes, I just can't believe you found a cake that had my name on it. True story. Next one, please. So I got some coaching from my wife on this, so I hope this hits home. PTSD turned casual into tactical. I think this is all really from Michael. Michael shared several things. He said in diners, Bo would often choose his seat, no one behind him, clear sight lines, and an exit plan. And Michael thought that was the coolest thing. On walks, Bo wanted to know who was on point. If people were running late, Bo would bark, Diddy Mao, which is Vietnamese slang for hurry up. So endearing to Michael, maybe a little bit PTSD with Bo, but again, it was all in great humor. Bo was always very funny. Next one, Sophie, please. Be one with nature. This one came from Russell. He swears that when they were younger, Bo could hypnotize chickens. I'm going to tell you, for obvious reasons, I didn't pursue this story. Bo taught Michael how to catch frogs with felt, a balloon, and a fishing pole. Felt. And he caught a frog. Dr. Bo Little leftovers were never, ever wasted. He would feed fish at Michael's place, and Michael came out one day, and he's actually feeding turtles out of his hand. I mean, just the things that he delighted. And I know at our beach place, my son, Alec, and Bo would spend the day fishing. And I mean, Bo would come out of there with catching crabs, stingrays, and even caught a clam one time on a hook. I don't know how he did it, but there are pictures, and that's actually true. And the funniest thing was that his granddaughter, Isabella, I think she would catch on average of 5 fish for every one he caught, but Such good times, so many memories. Next one, Sophie, please. This is actually Latin. Carpe diem caffeinatus. His niece Jennifer shared that Bo would explain to her that if you're sleeping past 6 a.m., you might as well go back to bed because the day is half gone. I think she was like 6. And seizing the day, I mean, if you've ever had the opportunity to have breakfast with Bo at a good diner, many, many cups of coffee would go through Bo. I mean, he would sit there and he would gulp down a cup of coffee and he saw the waitress coming with a carafe. I mean, he would burn himself, burn his lips, but he would get that extra cup of coffee. And remember, Bo would slide, Michael, right, his coffee cup all the way to the edge, like the waitress couldn't see it, you know, and he would move it closer, almost till it falls off. He always lived dangerously. Next one, please. So I call these Boisms. I don't know. I had to pull all this stuff together. So when playing pool, I think at Michael's, if he had no shot, I don't know if this is after a lot of beers, but he would tell Michael that if you don't have a shot, just hit the cue ball as hard as you can and yell, shoot the shit and holler. We might go out tonight. The best I remember is, you know, I took a lot of delight in talking to Bo about I'm going to rebuild my dock or do anything. And Bo would come immediately with a plan. This is what you need to do. And it was funny. He would sit there and he would outline the whole thing. And he'd be like, yeah, and absolutely. We could take the boards down and everything. And we would do it. He'd always make that click sound. He'd go, and it's a funny thing because you don't appreciate those things until, you know, you don't ever hear them again. And pardon this one, but the other thing that I took a lot of delight in that he would call a job. Yeah, we could do this real fast. It's a half a day job. It's a tit job. I never knew what that meant fully, but it really sounded nice. Next one, Sophie, please. Value everything, and hoarding and sharing stuff is okay. It's a principle of life. I mean, I don't know if it was his immigrant upbringing, but Bo would accept just about anything. I mean, pieces and parts. When I had taken apart my dishwasher, I think he took the main drain to put his silverware in. I mean, and I remember working with Dean. We were cleaning out the shed, and we got to get things cleaned up. I mean, he had stuff, and there was a whole bucket of broken fishing poles. And Dean is, because you're tripping over him, and Dean is imploring Bo, we just get rid of it, you know? And I'm sitting, I said, you know, Dean's absolutely right. And Bo was adamant. He goes, no, these are good fishing poles. Someone can use them. So I looked at Dean and I said, well, can I have the fishing poles? And Bo said, yeah. I said, fantastic. Bo was vindicated. He's like, yeah, absolutely, you can have them. What are you going to do with them? I said, I'm going to throw them out. I had ownership of them. And for all of Bo's jobs, I don't know if anybody has their Power Authority hats, orange shirts. I mean, you know, if you don't, there are stacks of them. And I think the Power Authority will be calling you and Chrissy about their stuff getting back. So next one, Sophie, please. You know, the towel on the shirt, and Bo was the coolest person in the room always. I mean, in his younger days with the flat top, if you saw some of the pictures and everything, but you know, he would be comfortable on anyone. I remember one weekend, Alec was down with his ECU friends, and there were 8 of them, and beer pong and all the fun stuff. And then all the way at the end is this little old guy with a gray beard, and he's doing this in the big picture. And he was just one of the cool guys. Now, what bachelor pad doesn't come with a hot tub? Well, he went to Harbor Freight and bought a 3-foot horse trough, and he put a little spigot on it, and he would pour hot water in there, sitting there. And it's like, Bo, what are you doing? And he goes, I don't have to take care of all the water. It's just this little area. I was like, well, what if you have people over? He goes, the more the merrier. And Bo always loved a free shirt. I mean, my God, free shirt, free hats. If we would go anywhere, if we would go to a home show, I mean, he would have armfuls. I think he had more adwear on him than Earnhardt Jr. Truism number 2, Sophie, please. Is this working okay? Okay, good deal. Friends, family, coworkers, strangers, anybody he would bump into, they were the most important people in his life. He liked everyone, and everyone liked Bo. He could talk to anyone, friends, strangers, coworkers. He had told me that in his younger days when he used to frequent bars, him and his friend would just sit there and they would just make up stories about some obscure thing, and they would talk loudly, and then other people become interested and they would loop him in, and he would walk away and everything was just complete BS. But he loved a big circle of people. I got to meet a lot of his shag friends, and he just loved people. A lot of the fraternal organizations, he loved people. Freddie Heiss, I got to speak to Freddie, and he finally remembered Bo being his best man and Bo being his, and I think he said it perfectly, friends forever. And nothing mattered more to Bo. We would go up to see family up in New York, and back to the old haunt, but my God, he was so stuck on Mooney's breakfast on Saturday morning, and it was a gas station coffee, donuts from ShopRite, and trivia cards, and they would talk about the most obscure people. I went with them one time. It was wintertime. The garage is not heated, and it was, it was the best time for Bo. And most recently, Alyssa and Bo were flying back, and she's like, yeah, I get to sit next to Bo and I'll keep him company. Well, Bo's talking to other people on the plane. He made a best friend out of some guy that made some obscure barbecue sauce, and Bo's ready to try it. And I think they connected after. But that was Bo. I mean, just look, Chrissy and Michael. Yep, absolutely. So the last truism: live life to the fullest. I mean, if you knew Bo, that was his motto. There's no doubt that he carried life challenges. He immigrated to this country. We grew up on a farm. He went to war, fought for his country. He's got the Purple Heart and the Congressional Medal of Honor with a V for Valor. Early financial challenges him and Kathy went through. I mean, those were tough times. And, he always provided and always wanted to do better for his family. And even later when he had health issues, I think the last week I was up and he was feeling better. He was all set to come to the beach house and just, do whatever. He just loved life. I mean, if that's one Boism that you need to carry from here, is that you need to carry that with you. Bo gave everything his full measure. And again, he just didn't tell us how to live. He showed us. So that was my last Boism. There's probably 100 more out there. But I hope I captured some of what I heard this week, and I hope to hear more from other family members. I'd like to invite others if they want to maybe kind of share something with Bo. I know that, if you want to get up and maybe share a memory or anything, you want to come up. Okay.
For those who don't know me, my name's Dean Oxner. I'm Bo's son-in-law, married to Kristen. Firstly, to the Fediuk family, my family, the Oxner family, sends their condolences. My father, mother, and brother who can't be here today. I met Bo almost 30 years ago when I first started dating Chrissy. To me, he was a dedicated family man. a Vietnam veteran, and a man who was always doing something, never able to rest. Whether working for NIPA at the reserves or at his mother's house. And the Fediuk family. Oh, you can talk for hours about that, but we'll leave that for later. I whisked his daughter away with me down to North Carolina after about 6 months, back in late 96, early 97. And that's where, her mom really liked tea. Chris learned the other definition for tea when she moved down here. And one of the places we went was Bojangles. And they had a saying, it's bow time. It's synonymous with the adventures with Bo. And I know we all have them, and we should canonize them and chronicleize them. But I prefer the old Mike adage, Bo knows. Bo knows taking down a tree, rigging a knots, being an Eagle Scout. He knew a lot more knots than I did. Bo knows grounding electrodes and their importance. He knew how to wire things up, whether for electricity or to hold things together. Bo knows fishing on a lake, or even later years on the ocean, in a boat and outside of one. Bo knows dancing. I hear that by word of mouth around here. And Bo knows life and politics. Some of us would agree with him, some of us would disagree with him, but he would always agree to disagree. The last couple of years have been tough to see a man who is always doing something slowing down. And it pains me today to be able to have to say this in a past tense. But, we're here today to honor the memory of Bo, his family, and we all pain from his loss, whether it be Kristen and Michael losing a father, Steve losing a brother, Christine and Michelle losing a brother-in-law, Brenda and I losing a father-in-law, Alec and Alyssa an uncle, Ian, Nick, Isabel, and Sophia losing a grandfather. But we all have lost a little bit something today with Bo's passing. But we'll be all forever grateful to have a little Bo in us. I'm going to read something out of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be want. He makes me lie down in green pastures and leads me beside still waters. He revives my soul and guides me along the right pathways for his name's sake. And surely your goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Rest in peace, Dad. Enjoy your days with him, Kathy, Roman, Eeyore, your parents, and the whole Fediuk lineage. We will see you again on our own time in the future. Godspeed.
So is there anyone else that would like to share a memory or anything about Bo? I know it's been very hard. The military honors really choked me up. So.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Beth. I'm Michelle's best friend. And I appreciate y'all letting me be here today. I'm a talker, but definitely not a public speaker. So super nervous right now. But since I've never officially met Bo's kids, I wanted to say a few things from the perspective of a friend about Bo. From the first time I met Bo many years ago, he was so kind and funny, my favorite kind of person. One time many years ago, Steve teased me and said my sister was his favorite in my family, to which I immediately responded, that's okay, because Bo's definitely my favorite. And I've said it many times since. I was fortunate enough to hang out with Bo many times over the years of friendship with Steve and Michelle. cookouts, pool parties, concerts, and beach trips. We enjoyed good food, fishing, and games at the beach. One trip, he taught my son to tie a nautical rope because he was just a cool guy like that. Another trip, it was just me and my daughter and I going to the beach for the weekend. And I don't think Michelle knew Bo had already planned to be there. We were so glad Bo was there, and we hung out with him the entire weekend. One afternoon, he took us to the VFW. We all had such a good time. It was so cool seeing him in his element and telling stories with the other veterans. It was truly a pleasure knowing and spending time with Bo, and he will be missed.
So is there anybody else who wants to share? I mean, we all grieve differently. It's fine.
I just would like to say goodbye to Bo. My name is Joe. We met in Poughkeepsie, New York. I was in the CBs, and Bo joined the CB group in Poughkeepsie. Turns out we both had something in common. We both were drafted in the 60s in the Army, did a tour in Vietnam, and so we took to each other right away. We kept in touch over the years. I retired I retired in New York and moved to Florida for 20 years. And we kept in touch. Every now and then we talk to each other, see what's going on. He would say to me, "Hey, I got to come down and visit you in Florida because, I'm going to retire and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm getting out of here." And we never did that. And about 4 years ago, we left Florida after 20 years and moved to Rock Hill, South Carolina. I don't know why, but we did. And one day I was up in the Charlotte VA, and I was getting ready to see the doctor. And I walked through the door. It was my turn. They said they called my name. So I go to walk through the door, and I hear the woman up front say, "They always ask you, what is your last name and your last four of your social so that they can check you in?" And I heard Fediuk, and I went, "Boy, what are the chances of that?" I walked in. I didn't turn around because I had to go into my appointment. So when I got home that day, I just happened to go on Facebook, and I said, "Let me just see if I can find him." And sure enough, he popped up. So I sent him a message, and I said, "Bo, it's Joe." And I said, we lost contact, but were you at the VA yesterday?" And he said, "Yeah, I was." Turns out, he said to me, "I live in Fort Mill." And I go, "You gotta be kidding me." I said, "We're 15 minutes away." So we did reconnect. He had me join the American Legion. We used to love to go over there and have a beer and a sandwich in the afternoon. Took him fishing. He loved to fish. He took me into the muddy waters of Lake Wiley to catch catfish, which we didn't do, but we had a good lunch together, and we used to hang out. But I have a quick story that I have to tell you. I always remember. It was so funny. So when we were in the CBs, we got orders to go to Camp Shelby, I think it was Mississippi, to train with the Marines, actually, I think it was.
Jungle warfare, right?
Excuse me?
Was that jungle warfare training?
The what?
Was that jungle warfare training?
I think it was, yeah.
I remember the story.
Yeah. So anyway, we get down there, and he was very upset because one of the guys had a real bad excuse in the out that was with our outfit. He worked for sanitation in New York City, this guy. And Bo was really mad because he got out of going. Nobody wanted to go there. He got out of going. So we get down to Mississippi, and we're out in this field doing maneuvers or whatever, and Bo says, "We got to take a picture and we got to send it back to Vinny." He said, and we have to do this. And I said, "Well, what do you want to do?" "I want everybody to line up and drop their drawers and moon them." So sure enough, we're all in the middle of the field, and we all drop our drawers and take a picture of us mooning, and we sent it to this guy. And after that, Bo was happy. He just said, "Now I feel much better." He says, I'm so glad. But my condolences to the family. He always talked about his family and his and his daughter's great beans that she used to make for the Shag Club all the time, which she tried to get me to go, but I'm not a dancer, so I have 2 left feet. But anyway, my condolences to them. And I just want to officially say goodbye to him. He was a great guy. I'm glad I got to know him. I wish I would have hung out with him a little more. We had an incident last year, and Bo knew about this incident, and he kind of just let me go and do my thing to handle that. And we didn't get together as much as we used to. And I'm sorry about that. I wish I would have, because he was a great guy. And that's it. Goodbye, Bo.
Before I wrap up, is there anyone else?
So the story you just told, Joe, about the jungle warfare training reminded me of another story that I heard from my dad back then. So apparently when he went to the jungle warfare training, it's supposed to be really, really tough. And my dad was having a great time. And he came back and he told me how much fun he had. And I believe he gained weight when he was there. So everybody else is like, struggling, and he was loving life. And he brought back a bunch of MREs. And he had us all taste the MREs, and they're not supposed to be good, but he liked them, and there were some good pieces to the MREs. I remember I think it was a cherry dessert was really good. But another thing I wanted to another story I wanted to bring up was if anybody here knew my dad, you probably heard him talk about he was a lineman, and he was very, very proud of his job. And it was a very, very dangerous job that when he got started. And he worked for IBEW Local 1249. And from there, he moved on and he worked for the Power Authority. But because he worked for 1249, he was always invited to their yearly clam bake. And if you knew my dad, I'm sure he at some point talked about the clam bake. He talked about the clam bake like crazy. He loved that clam bake. And every year, if he was going to come to New York, he would plan around that clam bake. And he looked forward to it, and he talked about it and talked about it. And, as he got older and with the oxygen and everything, it became harder for him to come, but he still came. And this most recent year, my Uncle Steve and I and Brenda and Ian, we all accompanied my dad to the clam bake. And because of the oxygen thing, we had to really prepare for it. So, he was going through the tanks pretty quickly. So we loaded the back of my truck up with tons of tanks, and, to make sure he had oxygen for every second that he was there. And it was a lot to do to get all prepared and to drive there. And we got there to that parking lot. We parked the truck, and we're getting out, and they have a golf cart that brings you into the clam bake. And go to the back of the truck. We're pulling all the tanks out, getting all the equipment out to make sure my dad has a nice, safe time there at the clam bake. And we turn around and look, my dad is gone. He hopped on a golf cart, and he was already in the clam bake. He left the rest of us in the parking lot. And, sure enough, we got in there, and he had another great time at the clam bake. All you can eat clams, all you can eat beer, all you can drink beer. He just really loved that event. Thank you.
I told you about stories this week, right? So Michael talked about the clam bake, and I did come up. Bo was like, Steve, you got to come. 75-inch TVs, Milwaukee drills. You're walking out with a bunch of stuff. I was like, oh, fantastic. I'm peeling off, buying $150 of tickets, and never got a number call. I don't think I was in the same realm of numbers that they were calling. And I turned to Bo, and I'm like, Bo, this is bullshit. I haven't won a thing. And he goes, well, you're a loser. So you can write that down as another Bo truism. If you don't win, you're a loser. But very nice. Is there anyone else that wants to share a story or has anything else to share? I don't want to wrap this up, but we can certainly keep the Bo conversations going. There's going to be, I think Joy's going to share about the repast we're going to have and all that stuff. But I'm going to I do want you to walk away with that last Bo truism of the live life to the fullest. I mean, that was Bo. That was the Shag Club. That was going to the Fez and fishing. And that's me going up to Joe, which I've never met the guy before, but we're going to go to his house and we're going to hang out for hours and hours and hours. And that is very important. But I will tell you that the last week before he passed away, Michael and Chrissy took great care of him, but, Bo knew he was on his last days. He knew it. I mean, he was talking about, I'm not going to see Christmas. I'm not going to, but I'll tell you, his thoughts were never on himself. I think I actually saw a box of thank you cards, and I think he was going to compose some notes to people. In the hospital, I know that I brought FaceTime up because anybody who's over 60 is completely eluded with this technology. But we brought up family members, and he had said, "Yeah, I want to talk to everybody, and I have no issues with anybody." And he just really wanted everybody to be happy. He was steady, he was selfless, and he always put others first. So my truism is that Bo's legacy will never fade. Bo is a legend. I love you, Bo. So, thank you.
This concludes the service for Bo, your celebration of life. The family invites everyone here to join them at the local VFW post off of Harris Road, really important, starting at 2:30. Thank you all for coming.